Hey everybody, Dan here with Pain for You. Today's actually going to be slightly different, almost like a case study. I got a message through my website from somebody, and they wrote me kind of an email. And instead of just having a topic and talking to that, I think I want to do a case study and kind of address this guy's message to me point by point if I could. So before we start that, we're going to take a couple of nice deep breaths. It's a weekend. I'm a little bit scraggly here. Got to trim that down a little bit. So let's take a couple of deep breaths. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in the peace. Exhale the noise. Got to admit it is more quiet in here. No wind. This time of year there's no bugs, but breathe in the confidence. Exhale the doubt. So, hey Dan, my question is about muscle imbalances and compensations. I did see your video on muscle tightness and the photos you have of you being crooked. A 40 plus years sufferer of pain and fatigue. I can totally accept that arthritis, disc bulges, and structural issues like that are not important. But muscular imbalances and compensations I am not able to see as not being important. I can feel the imbalances and the weaknesses and how they seem to cause pain and make activities more difficult, since there's pretty much always a feeling of being imbalanced and movement is not fluid and also feels imbalanced. Obviously, in an email I can't show you, but it seems obvious if posture and muscles are imbalanced, there's going to be a lot of strain on the system. How can you explain your way around this? Thanks for all you do. Thanks for your great videos. So, the imbalances and compensations that I had, and if you guys remember seeing me all crooked, I was all jacked up. And sometimes I walked with a limp when the muscles were particularly jacked up in my lower back, which kind of twisted my hips out of alignment. And so it's very easy to see the result of TMS and transfer that into the cause of your pain. But as we look at it, I still believe that imbalances and compensations are the result of TMS for many years. And so the other thing to factor in, look, TMS starts as a distraction mechanism, as Dr. Sarno discerned years ago, 50 years ago, somewhere thereabouts, to distract us from our overwhelming, scary, dangerous emotions that were threatening to burst into consciousness. That may be how it started. But fear, focus, anxiety, these things teach the nervous system and the brain to wire these neural pathways. And then with that continued focus and fear, we can keep these systems persistent for decades, as this gentleman was talking about. And so, yes, we can feel the imbalances. We can feel the pull on our posture. And it can absolutely feel physical. But I will tell you, there's no reason that being out of alignment should hurt. And I know I'm going to get pushback, probably from this gentleman and probably from some other people. Anybody in the kinesiology space, physical therapy space is going to say that, things that are out of balance are going to cause pain. But I'll tell you, there are people with bodies that are very jacked up, meaning not in alignment at all. Poor posture. Look, I've got poor posture. I actually have that forward tilt thing as a result of working on the computer, looking at the phone too much. I've got a forward head tilt. And even though my spine has massively corrected itself, I still have imbalances. I'm still not straight as an arrow, and I don't have the best posture in the world. I sit in that chair behind me for hours and hours and hours a day, and I slump, and I don't sit up straight. And so I know I have all sorts of muscle imbalances. And I am not very flexible. I don't do any stretching routines, but I don't hurt. Another example, and I think I mentioned it in a video not too long ago. My father-in-law had polio as a kid. Literally one leg that was very weak, and he's been walking jacked up and crooked for his entire life since I met him. God, whatever that was, 30-something years ago. And now he's in his 80s, and he's practically falling over. He needs a cane to be able to walk without falling. But he doesn't hurt. And so muscle imbalances do not cause pain, in my opinion. Do they cause posture issues? Yes, but I'm not a firm believer that posture is painful. I am not a firm believer that compensating for muscle imbalances is painful. Does it put a little bit of strain on the system? Perhaps it may cause other muscles to work a little bit harder, but I'm not convinced that is painful. You know, people are born with and have scoliosis, severe, bone abnormalities in the spine that cause people to be all twisted, and they don't have pain. And so what could be going on for this gentleman? It's the fixation on the posture and the muscle imbalances and the compensations and the belief that that's bad that has convinced the brain that this is a physical problem. And yes, I get that it does feel physical. But again, I'm not convinced these physical imbalances and posture issues and compensations are the cause of the pain. They are the result of it. And chronic pain is learned. And what I mean by that is those neural pathways. Dr. Schubner speaks about that in his book, Unlearn Your Pain. And brain science, the things we focus on the most, tend to wire. And if we're constantly thinking about, focused on, and being distressed about our symptoms, whether it be pain, weakness, numbness, burning, tingling, you name it, itchiness, gastrointestinal problems, reflux, autoimmune stuff, whatever we focus on, then it wires. Add into this the perception of the brain. Well, let's back up. Pain, the purpose of pain is to keep you safe from things the brain perceives as dangerous. So if the brain perceives that your posture's out of whack, your muscle imbalances are dangerous, and your compensations are putting strain on the system and going to cause pain in other places, the brain's going to go, wow, that certainly sounds logical. Maybe I better protect you with some pain so you don't overdo it, so you don't hurt yourself. And so pain is a protection mechanism. Chronic pain, in my opinion, is all learned. It's all taught. It's wired neural connections through use. And when you add in fear and anxiety, plus constantly focusing on it, it can be persistent, in some cases for decades, right? And so that is not unusual. For this gentleman, I would suggest that instead of trying to fix these muscle imbalances or postures or stop these compensations and trying to strengthen these weakened muscles from years worth of posture and compensation issues, instead of doing that, my suggestion for him and for anybody who feels that they're in a similar mode is to say, okay, the body will handle itself. But if I'm dealing with pain, my primary goal should be, in my opinion, should be to teach the brain that, yeah, so what? I got muscle imbalances. Yeah, so maybe I walk with a limp, or I walk a little bit hunched over, or whatever the imbalances are. I have not spoken to this gentleman. But whatever the body is doing as a result of decades worth of pain, so what? That shouldn't hurt. It's not dangerous. And so teaching the brain that these imbalances, compensations, postures are not dangerous. Again, I've got crappy posture. I've got the forward head tilt, looking down at the phone all the time. They don't hurt, right? It's the belief that those things are dangerous that creates the pain. It's the focus on it and the anxiety and fear about it that keeps it persistent. Wired neural pathways. So your job is to teach your brain that I can be crooked, I can have poor posture, I can have imbalances, I could compensate for the pain and the muscle weakness and muscle imbalances and not hurt. I'm actually okay. And so all of the things that I teach on a regular basis, knowledge, assessment, acceptance, feel your emotions, soothe your body, get out of stress, calm your thinking, mindset of indifference, don't care. To this gentleman, don't care about your muscle imbalances. Don't care if you hurt. Have a damn good day anyway. Try to laugh, have some fun, engage in life, connection with others, purpose, meaning, all that stuff. Get out of your head, live your life, make living your life more important than figuring out this TMS stuff. And then focus on your life, right? I just literally ran through the whole roadmap that I've put together. Knowledge, assessment, and acceptance. Feel your emotions, soothe your body, calm your thinking, mindset of indifference, focus on living life. Boom. Get those things dialed in. And your brain's going to get the message that this pain is not a big deal. And look, once the pain's gone, if you'd like to improve your posture, great. But fixing your posture is not going to get rid of the pain because it keeps your brain locked in on the fact that this is a body problem in which it's not. Trying to fix your muscle imbalances is not going to work. It didn't work for me. I was doing stretches, some physical therapy, trying to shift my body in different ways to get rid of the crookedness. Didn't work. Not at all. But guess what? Once I focused 100%, 100%, fired all the physical therapists, threw away my stretching, worksheets and everything I got. When I stopped all that crap completely and focused 100% on this TMS approach, I got better. The pain left. And then without doing anything proactive to try to correct my posture, my muscle imbalances, my compensations, the body began to return to balance and straightened up. Again, it's not perfect. And I still have some things that I look in the mirror and go, not perfect, but I don't hurt, so what? And so that's really my take on it is, pain is simply the brain perceiving that there's something dangerous. And in this gentleman's case, the perception is that it's the muscle imbalances, the posture, the compensations he's been doing for these various, what he considers are abnormalities. And I get it. It feels absolutely physical because we can feel out of balance. I remember when my hips were all out of whack, I could stand on a flat tile floor, completely flat, completely level. And with my hips so out of whack, it literally felt like I was standing on an uneven floor, or that one foot was up higher than the other on top of something. So the job isn't to fix these muscle imbalances, stop compensating, or fix your posture, because that stuff is literally like chasing your tail. You're not going to get there. Your goal is to decide and therefore teach your brain that those things don't matter. They're the byproduct, in my opinion. And despite how real they feel, they are real. The muscle imbalances are absolutely real. The posture is poor, and we do compensate for those things. That's all real, legitimate. But I don't believe it's a cause of pain. And if you're not hurting, if you'd like, you can do physical therapy then. But don't try to do that to get rid of the pain, because in that case, you're doing something that Sarno recommended highly against, which was physical treatments. He said stop all physical treatments because it confuses the brain. It keeps it convinced it's a body problem. So this was a nice little case study, and whether it be back, anything else like that, regardless of what your particular challenges are. I had somebody else asking about flat foot or fallen arches. And, How do I get around that, Dan? That's a real thing. My arch has fallen. Okay, well, ask some questions. Are there people with flat feet that don't have pain? If so, why does yours hurt? Because the brain perceives it as a problem. And the brain perceives that flat foot as dangerous, and so it gives you the pain so you don't walk around too much. All this stuff is the same. It doesn't matter what your specific concern is. It's all the same stuff. The brain's perception that something is wrong is going to create the pain to keep you safe from something that the brain perceives as a problem, like a fallen arch, like like muscle imbalances or poor posture. So that's how it works. Hopefully that makes sense to this gentleman. Thank you for sending the email in. I'm going to drop you a note now and let you know to look out for this video. And to everybody else, hope you're having a great weekend so far. This video will post on Sunday. So have a great Sunday, and we will talk to you tomorrow. Love you.